Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. And in boxing, you find a way to win, or you find a way to lose. Continuing on with the Savannah Marshall and Claressa Shields breakdowns. Fight's coming up in September. Looking forward to it. But Savannah Marshall and Claressa Shields, it's like the back and forth just can't stop. Savannah Marshall is now coming out and really speaking a little bit more. She's still not being overly aggressive, but she's actually saying that she's a fan of Claressa Shields. She's a pioneer, and what she's done for the sport has been amazing. But the reality is she does not beat me. And this is good to hear because we know how Shields feels and we know what she brings to the table. But it's good to hear Savannah Marshall kind of speaking up. She didn't beat me before and she won't again. And it kills her. It absolutely burns her inside. This is what Savannah Marshall is saying about Shields. Shields doesn't like this talk at all because she definitely feels that she's the GOAT, the greatest woman of all time. And Shields says that she only calls herself the GOAT because if she called herself the GOAT, the greatest of all time, she'd be disrespecting Muhammad Ali, who so much she holds in high regard and has a lot of respect for. She said, but if it wasn't for Muhammad Ali, she'd be calling herself the greatest of all time. So instead, she put the W in there to call herself the GOAT, the greatest woman of all time. That way she's not, as she feels, crossing the line. But Savannah Marshall says it burns Claressa Shields inside, that Shields has a loss on her record that came at the hands of Savannah Marshall. And I think it burns Shields inside too. I think it burns Shields inside because she feels Savannah Marshall continues to talk about this loss. And this is something that happened to Shields when Shields says she was a kid. Now she's a grown woman. And if you look at Shields' accomplishments, right? 12 world titles, 2 gold medals. It's a pretty big deal. But Savannah Marshall says the 12 world titles and 2 gold medals is an outstanding accomplishment. But I'm not just going to beat her. I'm going to outbox her. I'm going to hurt her. I'm going to make her say my name. That took me back a little bit, but I was glad to hear it. I said, man, she put Muhammad Ali on her, didn't she? Say my name. So we're going to see what's going to happen because Savannah Marshall, man, she's saying she'll make Claressa Shields say her name. And I don't know. I guess we'll find out. But the whole thing about being a bully, Shields has always been vocal, but I've never seen anything to make me feel that she's tried to bully an opponent. But she talks a lot of trash. I just think taunting them and I think it's good for the fight to have a little bit of back and forth, but never seen her do anything ridiculous in regards to like bullying somebody. But Savannah Marshall feels that Claressa Shields is a bully, and it's as simple as that, is what she said. She feels that Savannah Marshall, is a lot smarter than Claressa and have always been, and that's what's going to win her the fight. She feels that Claressa Shields is an ignorant woman. And she says that because she feels that Claressa Shields doesn't want to admit to the public that she has respect for Savannah Marshall as a woman and as a fighter. She's like, because of her own ignorance and not wanting to just be honest with herself in the public and to keep trying to attack her, slander her name, defame her character, and not give her the credit for what she's accomplished, as a result, that ignorance of Claressa Shields is going to lose her the fight. Now, it could if, like I said in the other video, Claressa Shields really starts thinking that Savannah Marshall is afraid of her, and Savannah Marshall, in Claressa Shields' mind, really doesn't have a chance to win. If that's the case, you can go in there being overly confident and get a rude wake-up call. You can get a rude wake-up call, man, and it can come real quick. But Savannah Marshall does say this, and I think it's good for her to say this, that Claressa Shields may not say that she respects me, but she knows deep down that there's a little bit of her that does. And Shields has to. I mean, she lost to her. Although she was a kid, she still lost to her. So there's something Marshall was doing to stay in the fight and to convince judges, although there was years ago that she was doing something to get the nod. Now, fast forward to where we are, they're both doing good as professionals, but it still has to kind of linger in your head a little bit like, all right, I can't go in here just thinking I'm going to just, totally brush this woman. That's just not how she should think about it. She knows she's going to go in there and she's going to have to redeem herself. So she's going to have to take it serious, even though she's parading around here saying that it's going to be an easy fight. But Marshall goes on to say because Shields won't admit it to herself, that's going to be problematic. And I guess we'll find out, man. But women's boxing is still growing. These two ladies are going to take it to a whole nother stratosphere. I am looking forward to it just like everyone else, and I'll leave it as that. Going to make Claressa Shields say her name. I guess we'll find out, right? Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Shout out to the veterans. Y'all keep safe, and as always, I'm in the breeze.